Scott Jackson, and the mouth of the South, Fred Smooth.
Here at FedEx Field, following the 33-22 loss to the hands of the Saints today, we will be getting to the locker room here momentarily. Washington falls to 2-3 on the season. And, should we even mention what comes next? I don't think so. We'll save that for later. I don't even want to talk about next week. Let's just deal with today.
Light, I need a Bud Light right now. I need a six-pack of Bud Light to go through what I just went through.
You can check us out on YouTube for about the first hour. We'll get in the locker room here in a bit with Julie Donaldson and D'Angelo Hall. Geico brings it to you. We get in the locker room. Whether you rent or own, Geico makes it easy to bundle home and auto insurance. And visit geico.com to see how much you can save. All right, let's start at the beginning, Fred. Today, actually, a team did not walk down the field and score on the first drive. Washington got an early interception from Cole Holcomb. Unfortunately, they only turned it into 3. Saints with a quick strike score today. A Hail Mary before half.
Yeah.
You had the fumble. You had the roughing the punter on the Saints. It was like the first half was like a wrestling match to see who could help the other team more with the mistakes.
No, who could get out of their own way.
Right.
That's what it was. But it was also a half in a game of big plays. It wasn't that methodical. We had one drive where I think it was 14 plays where we methodically went down the field. But everything other than that was big play for them, big play for us, big play for them. So it was bound. Who was going to correct them mistakes earlier, quicker? And it turns out it was the Saints. And I must say this.
Okay.
They weaponized the punter position today.
Blake Gillikin. Who knew?
Who
the heck knew Blake Gillikin was beside his family and friends before today?
Nobody knew who he was.
He was great, wasn't he?
He was unbelievable today. He had a lot to do with that win because once he pinned us on the 1 and the 2 yard line like twice, I was like, this guy right here is changing the game. We never got back in the league after that.
Well, the third down defense was better. The problem was there was the other downs today that got you.
First and second?
That got you today, the big plays. Like Jameis Winston, we talk about all the time, hey, you can rattle him and get him to make mistakes. And they did that early, but as the game went on, he got more comfortable, and, they cut down on the mistakes, and they obviously made a lot more big plays than this Washington offense could today.
Well, I love Drew Brees. That's my classmate, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But the one thing that was always missing out of the Saints playbook was the deep ball.
Yeah.
And as you see,
last few years,
and as you see, Jameis still has a and I don't know why people underestimate Jameis. He's a former number 1 pick for a reason. Now you put him with the quarterback whisperer and Sean Payton. Yes, they are going to come up. And then you got to realize, this is only Jameis' 5th, 6th game starting as a New Orleans Saint.
And let's also be real. I mean, this isn't the old Saints with a ton of talent around him. I mean, this is just, for the Saints.
Alvin Kamara.
This is Alvin Kamara and everybody else.
Callaway.
And Callaway's, but he's more like a third receiver on a normal Saints team, right?
Number 2. He's working himself to be a stable number 2.
Right, but Mike Thomas isn't there, obviously, and they lose in this game early. They lose, Taysom Hill, who's their red zone weapon, which, may or may not have helped Washington. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. But anyway, today I think this offense, they had a hard time getting out of their own way. The Saints defense, to their credit, we knew this coming in. They've been playing well.
Yep.
They made Taylor Heinicke uncomfortable for a lot of portions of this football game. And, he was, making some throws that obviously were ill-advised, holding the ball a little bit too long. They did a good job keeping him out of the rhythm. But then in the second half, Scott Turner kind of found something in that second or third drive where they moved the ball down the field.
Well, even when we have the plays down here in the red zone where he drops the ball in the end zone, gets the ball out to Ricky Jones-Seals, then it gets called back because of holding. So it's like we can't get out of our own way. It's already hard enough to beat a team, but if you're going to beat yourself, you'll never have a chance to beat a team like the Saints. All right? But at the end of the day, we had this team where we wanted this team, and it's the crucial plays. What do you do before the half? You knock that ball down, St. Juice. I'm one of his biggest fans.
Right.
But that cannot happen. We go into the half 13-13. All right, that's a different game. So it's the small things and the big plays. It's the small things that's leading up to the big plays, and that's the difference in this team right now.
Yeah, and you turn the ball over in the red zone, obviously, in the first half. Taylor Heinicke throws that pick on the 1 yard. It didn't hurt you, but it also kept you from getting points. You also had an opportunity, which is interesting. They went for a 4th and 10 at the 35, so they passed on a 52-yard attempt. Terry McLaurin was probably, like an inch or two from getting his feet in.
Yeah.
But also that goes to show you maybe the confidence level or lack thereof of your field goal kicker as well.
Yep.
Which is kind of, one of the things we talked about. Now, after watching Cody Parkey today, I kind of feel like Ron Rivera has been vindicated on that decision because here's a team who threw their kicker out. Yeah. And I don't know if it really got any better for the Saints today or not. He missed an extra point. He was shaky, but anyway.
Yeah, he missed 2 extra points.
Yeah.
This guy might be back at home. We talked about him being at home 2 weeks ago. He might be headed back that way, but their punter.
He was a weapon. I mean, you talk about all 3 phases of the game. Last week, Washington won the special teams battle in Atlanta with the return for a touchdown by DeAndre Carter today. Definitely the punting was a big deal, no question about it. And New Orleans, look, they overcame the roughing the punter. They gave Washington a fresh set of downs after they had stopped them. Obviously, they ended up finishing off that drive and scoring a touchdown in the first half. So, give the Saints credit for overcoming their mistakes there. But let's go back to the Hail Mary, because I'm watching this as it happens right before half. First of all, it's set up by a good return from Kamara.
Yep.
They had just enough time left to get the playoff. They had 8 seconds left.
Jameis stepped up in the pocket.
Jameis, who's got a big arm, gets it up there. It almost looks like an underthrow at first, but he just is so effortless with the way he puts the ball down there, and it's right in the right spot. You and D'Angelo Hall, it's like your life's like the ball froze for you guys.
Yeah.
And like both of you are trying to catch the ball from the booth.
I was reaching for it from the booth because it's like a steal for us. It's like me and D. Hall was one of them DB that our defensive coordinator would say, Don't catch it.
Right.
Knock it down because they know we're trying to catch it.
Yeah.
To me, they say it's free pick. Every time I see the free pick, I'm coming down with it. Now you go out there, and it looked like none of our guys tried to get up and get it. Like Callaway literally got up, posted these guys out. It was guys in front of them. It was guys behind them. I seen nobody stick their hand up to get the ball, and that's unacceptable, man. I'm sorry, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, and look, that's tough. I mean, again, there were some better things and stretches from the defense, but again, just too many times, and give Sean Payton a heck of a lot of credit. They got the matchups they wanted. They got Kamara, in space against linebackers, against Cole Holcomb, who shouldn't have been, out there in that position, but he was. The first touchdown, they put our safety. They make sure our safety had a cover deep, and he couldn't do it. I mean, it looked again like Landon Collins. That should have been his responsibility.
Yeah, that was him. It's usually the last guy that's in the screen while they wide receivers running to the end zone. It's usually his fault. So at the end of the day, it's a lot of stuff we have to clean up with this team. We don't need help. The help that we need is not outside of the park. It's in the building. We just need to get on the same page.
Got some injuries today, too. Curtis Samuel, who started the game, went out again with a groin. That can't be a good sign for a guy that obviously been dealing with one all offseason.
He's probably headed back to IR.
Sam Cosmi, he got hurt on the touchdown, the first touchdown, then he stayed in for the next series, got hurt on like the second or third play of that series, went out, never came back. That's your right tackle who you took in the second round, so that's certainly a little disturbing. And one of the interesting things today, and maybe it was because, and we'll get an explanation in the postgame, from the coach, and we'll hear about this when we get the snap counts out. We'll see, but sure didn't seem like a whole lot of Jamin Davis, despite no John Bostic. It looked like a lot of just Cole Hogan by himself out there. You saw Khalid Hudson out there a couple times as well. A little Davis was out there some, but not much. Not much.
And you got to ask yourself: is he not out there because he's having a problem learning the defenses, or is he out there because they just don't feel like he's ready? Like that's a great question. Usually, the next man up, you try to get the rookies in there, get them some playing time, and we know they don't care about playing rookies because St. Juice has been playing since the year started, and Sam Cosmi, who today I must say this, Sam Cosmi, he's a tough kid. He took a physical beating after the day. Cam Jordan, baptized him by fire today. And that's what you had to do during your rookie year. It's going to be some long days. It's going to be some good days, but different days.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We'll get in the locker room here momentarily. We'll get the phone calls at 301-230-0980, 301-230-0980. Washington falls to the Saints 33-22, and yes, the Chiefs will be here next Sunday. So
we ain't scared of no Chiefs.
It's not ideal coming off a loss, but we're going to go ahead and throw it to Julie Donaldson in the locker room. Julie?
Coach Rivera, you look at the stat sheet and you would think this is one that this team would have won. But unfortunately, we talk about coming into this game. They were one of the worst in big plays, and yet that seemed to be something that really kind of got us in this game, especially on defense, not being able to get those stops and those moments, and especially that Hail Mary at the end of the second half. What do you kind of say to the guys after this one?
Well, the big disappointment is we didn't do things that we needed to do to give ourselves more of a chance to win. We put ourselves in position to have some good things happen, but we didn't execute when we needed to, and that's the thing that we've got to get corrected.
We talk about going back to the basics. Is it still just that, going back to the basics?
It's as basic as it gets. Again, it's about making sure we do our jobs. But, for us as coaches, we got to take a look at what we're doing and make sure we're giving them an opportunity to succeed.
We know we talked going into this game that they were running the ball a lot, but you said you couldn't just look at that because they were going to test you should they think that they could. Sean Payton, you saw right early on, Jameis Winston was going to be able to throw that ball. How much were we game planning for the pass versus the run?
We game plan just as equal as we would for any other part of the game. And unfortunately, like I said, we had some opportunities, but we didn't make the plays.
On the other side of the ball, a lot of changes on offense as different guys were having to step up. It is the next guy up mentality. Taylor Heinicke, a couple interceptions, even one that was very costly right there in the end zone. Conversation that you'll now have with the offense and him.
Well, very much so. I mean, again, it's about guys not trying to do more than they needed to, and especially on the offensive side, because those guys have the ability to make plays, make things happen. And Taylor just, he forced a couple of things.
We talked a lot about not playing hero ball for him. Do you think that was a little bit of what was happening in this game?
I think a little bit. A couple times things got a little hairy there. He held the ball a little bit long and then tried to force it. By then the defender's in position, and at that point you either throw it away or get what you can.
We talk a lot that it's one game at a time, but you look at the games coming up. You have to, the Chiefs here at home, you go to Green Bay, the bye, and then you got Tom Brady and the Bucs coming to town. How do you keep it one game at a time, knowing the road ahead is as difficult as it is?
Well, honestly, it has to stay one game at a time, Julie. That's the only way we can look at it. Because if we look at it any other way, we'll look past something. And right now, we're not in any position to look past anybody.
All right, Coach Rivera, thank you. Back to the film room.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Julie. Julie Donaldson with the head coach, Ron Rivera. 33-22 the final. We'll take a timeout. Washington back to the drawing board here from Ron Rivera. We'll talk a little bit about what the coach had to say on the other side. You're listening to the Washington football team.
Life.
Another round. What a night. I'm going to head home now.
Make sure you call for a ride. That's what we're doing.
I'm fine. I can drive. I'm fine.
Just calm down. Come on, man. None of us are fit to drive. How about we get you a safe ride home, all right?
It's about grit. It's about guts. It's about winning. It's about where we come from and what we can be. It's about DC and celebrating our football team. With the Washington football team scratcher from the DC Lottery, you can win up to $50,000, as well as some exciting second chance opportunities. And you can continue your winning experience at DCILottery.com.
What do you think it'll take this year to win the division? I mean, we know 7-9 last year got it, but we know that that's probably not going to be good enough this year.
I don't know, because it's tough. The NFC East is so tough. Like, I played in other conferences, and I feel like, oh, man, I could have played a long time if I just played in this conference. I'm just biased that the NFC East is very tough. I think the caliber of players, the amount of, when the Giants was on a roll, just winning all those championships. And Dallas is just always tough. And being out there with Romo, and it was a grind. So I think that it's going to take those numbers, 7-9 or 8 and whatever type of team to go ahead and win this thing.
What do you think, Tim? What gets it done this year?
I think we got to sweep Dallas.
You got to sweep Dallas.
We got to sweep Dallas.
Yeah.
I think we got to set the tone from the first time we play them. To let them remind them who won the division last year and who's going to win it again this year. We have to set that tone and beat Dallas the first game.
is the official football team postgame show. Here are your hosts, Scott Jackson and Fred Smoot.
Ball is marked at the Washington 49. 8 seconds on the clock. Winston is in the gun. Kamara to his left. 3 wide receivers in a bunch to the right. Steps back. Chase Young got good pressure off the edge. Now James Smith-Williams. Jameis Winston just throws it up for grabs towards the end zone. And that might have been caught. That might have been caught in the end zone. It's a touchdown by New Orleans. Wow. A Hail Mary happens at the end of the half.
Oh, the dagger there before halftime made it 20-13. New Orleans goes on to win at 33-22. Welcome back. Official postgame show. Scott Jackson and Fred Smoot here with you. Live from FedEx Field. Take a final look at the numbers brought to you by Novak, keeping life bright. Washington, 26 first downs, New Orleans 18. As we talked about earlier, though, it was a game of big plays, Fred, even though Washington with the yardage advantage, first downs, more plays, 76-55 was the big plays that killed them. New Orleans is 4 for 11 on third down. Washington 5 of 16 on third down. They had some problems today on offense, staying on the field, obviously, in those third down situations. 373 to 369 in yards. The rushing yards, 131 for Washington, Saints 98. Penalties, 6 for 46 for New Orleans, Washington 5 for 37. 2 turnovers each team, and 36 minutes and 26 seconds time of possession for Washington compared to 23-34 for New Orleans. Jameis Winston, 15 of 30, 279 yards, 4 touchdowns, and just 1 pick. Taylor Heinicke, 20 of 41, 240 yards, 2 picks. No TDs today. Antonio Gibson, 60 yards rushing, 2 scores. Adam Humphries ends up being your leading receiver. That's probably not a script to win. 3 for 73. Kamara, 71 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Callaway, 4 catches, 85 yards, and 2 touchdowns as New Orleans leaves Washington here with a win.
I'll tell you a stat that you won't see on the stat sheet,
okay,
but it's true. All right,
what do you got?
Marshawn Lattimore is a prison warden.
Yes, he is.
Do you understand me?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know which jailhouse he runs, but he's a prison warden.
It's in Louisiana, though. We know
yeah,
that.
it's in Louisiana.
Right, it's in Louisiana.
Hey, listen, he has got to warden status, and that means he literally took McLaurin out of this game physically. You won't see it on the stat sheet, but if you watch this game, you watch 23 and 17 battle, and 23 came out the victor, and his team won the game. On the flip side of things, we didn't see that on our side.
All right, we got Taylor Heinicke coming up here in a minute. We'll hear from him, and I got to think he's a little sore. He took some shots in this game.
Oh, yes, sir.
And look, New Orleans is a good defense. Their red zone defense is very good. We saw it, it was very tough inside of the tight spots here. Let's go to Julie Donaldson, who's standing by with the quarterback. Julie?
Taylor, let me first ask how you physically feel. I mean, those are some big hits you got there, especially late in the game.
Yeah, I feel fine. A lot better than I felt previous weeks, so it's good to come out of a game feeling pretty healthy. So I'm sure I'll be a little banged up tomorrow, but that's part of the game.
You had 7 different receivers with at least 1 reception, but they weren't the usual guys you're used to throwing to. It's that next man up mentality, but how much did that factor in when you don't have some of the guys that you're used to relying on out there in the receiving game?
Honestly, it felt like we didn't skip a beat. Those guys came in and they did a great job. DeAndre Carter came in, made some big plays. Dax came in, he looked good out there. And then Ricky, he made some big plays today. So it was good to see those guys get in there. I'm sure their confidence is up, and it's something to build on for sure.
The guys always say that you have that mindset that you're going to be able to make something happen, maybe almost to your detriment a little bit. A couple of interceptions in this game. How do you kind of try and shake those off, and what happened in those situations?
Yeah, that first one to Curtis, we're in the red zone. I just have to know that we have points on the board there, and that's more valuable than anything. And I just try to give him a shot there, and it was a bad decision. So it's those 2 decisions right there that. That could be a 14-point swing, and that could be the game right there. So it's just eliminating those little mistakes, and I feel like if I don't do that, we have a chance there at the end.
Everybody wants to look at your schedule ahead. It does not get any easier from here on out. You've got the Chiefs at home. You go to Green Bay. You've got the bye week. You got Tampa Bay. Do you get ever caught up in what's coming ahead, or how do you stay in the moment in the game?
No, yeah, it's just, you only play one opponent a week. So, all of our focus is going to be on we'll be playing Kansas City. We'll play Kansas City this week. We'll get ready for them and give them the best we got, and then we'll go from there. So none of these guys, they don't look too far ahead. We really go in, day out, really focus on every day, every play, just trying to get better. So, I have full confidence in these guys to bounce back pretty quick.
All right. Best of luck to you this week. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's Taylor Heinicke. We have Antonio Gibson coming in here, but I'm going to let D'Angelo Hall come do this one. D'Angelo, come get this one. D'Angelo and AG. Yeah, you're good. Come on in, Antonio.
What I'm holding.
Here you go.
What's going on, AG? So, really tough defense out here playing the New Orleans Saints, man. Can you tell us a little bit about your experiences with those guys out there?
Felt like they didn't beat us. I felt like we beat ourselves. Just when we get in the red zone, got to put up points. Defense gave us plenty of opportunities to put up points, and we didn't do that today. So that's definitely something we got to focus on, putting up points in the red zone.
Talk about just really the strength too of that defense at times. I know you guys did make some mistakes, but did you see you guys just kind of wanting to throw the ball just a little bit more, just knowing how difficult sometimes it is to run the football against the Saints defense? I know down in the red zone you were able to get a couple touchdowns, but just talk about adjusting the game plan sometimes when some things aren't open.
That's up to the man above, with the calls. But so we just whatever he called, we stick to that plan. He wanted to focus more on the pass, and we was getting him. We just got to execute on the plays when he give it to us.
So I talked a little bit about them 2 touchdowns down in the red zone. What did you see on that? I tell people all the time, that's y'all bread and butter. It seems like when y'all get down there, y'all spread teams out and y'all get to that kind of read option look that a lot of times, man, is a high success rate.
Sure. Sometimes we give them a little motion. The defense get the switching left, switching right, and we running straight down here. It catches them off guard. Our O-line gets a good push, and, just finding that small hole and driving your feet at that point.
What do you think? You got Kansas City coming in here next week, and I know we just finished this football game literally minutes ago, but what do you guys take from this game into next week? I know you got to get that taste off your mouth. Trust me, I done been in some tough losses through the course of my career. You got to move on, review the film, and make those adjustments. What will you guys take from this loss into next week to give you a little bit more motivation?
Let them beat us. Don't beat ourselves. If they're going to win, make them do it and play with some want to. And I feel like we got the talent, we got the skill. We can do it. We show it. Just got to be more consistent. I feel like we get that win.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. No, you're absolutely right. Consistency is the key, man. I appreciate you taking some time to join me. Back up to Smooth Scott.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, D. Hall. There with Antonio Gibson before that. Taylor Heinicke talking about the 2 interceptions. How you just
they hurt. They hurt too. I'm sorry.
No question.
Yeah, they hurt.
No doubt. It is. It was those come back and bite you. You're talking about the points. Leaving the points in the field and obviously giving them a short field.
When you turn the ball over, especially in the red zone, to me as a player, that's a 14-point swing because we can either go 7 in front of you or you can go 7 in front of us.
Right.
So at the end of the day, when you turn it over in the red zone, you not only hurt your offense, you hurt your defense. Now, but luckily our defense kept them pinned to the end zone. But at the end of the day, it taking points off the board, and then we come back and give away the Hail Mary on the next end, and it just doesn't work.
All right, back to D'Angelo Hall in the locker room. D'Angelo?
We're live. All right, we're here with Daron Payne. Got that scoop. Now, we were talking about it in the booth. Now, I think it was in the preseason that you supposed to fall on that thing. You tried to scoop it and you didn't get it. You say, forget it. I'm scoring with that thing. I'm scooping.
I'm not following on no formals. I'm trying to scoop them all. So, yeah, I got a chance to redeem myself. So, had to.
Hey, I told somebody, so I'm over here sweating, drenching, all right, and all I've done is be in the booth. This man's been out there playing 4 quarters and clean as a whistle, man, but just playing so hard, man. It's something that, we talked about on the Players Club podcast, man, that just you fight, man. You fight, that never quit mentality, that attitude. Talk to us a little bit about that through the course of this football game.
I mean, every day I wake up, I can control my effort and my outview, like my look on things. So I just try to go out there and just give it my all, no matter what the circumstances is.
Now, how frustrating was it though to through the course of this game, we all felt like, man, this is a game that we got to win.
Yeah.
We got to win. To come out 4 quarters, hard-fought game, not come out with that win. How frustrating is that?
I mean, it's frustrating, but in the NFL, man, it's more games to be played. So. Yes. I can't get down on it. Just look at it, review it, clean it up, and then get on to the next week.
So we saw something you guys were doing against this run game. Looks like when they came out in some bigger personnel, you had those 3D tackles, and it's you, Matt Ioannidis, Jonathan Allen, and I said, dude, when that's on the field, nobody's running the football. How dope was that to see all three of you guys out there at one time?
The coaches like when we all out there at the same time, and we kind of push for it too in the room. So the more the merrier. I feel like, I don't know, we get to work a lot more when we have all of us on the field. Yeah. So we get a lot of one-on-ones too. So I don't know, I like it.
A lot of one-on-ones. I want to talk about one of these plays you guys worked together where I saw Jonathan Allen go and knock the center head off, and then you come scoop around and you blast the quarterback.
Yeah.
How dope is that, man, to work some of these games? And can we look forward to seeing a little bit more of that too in the future?
No, definitely. We in the D-line room right now. That's our like our biggest emphasis is just like working together as a whole like unit. So it's gonna be a lot of us just working together as a unit.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. We look forward to seeing more of you out there, man. Dominating, man. I love that attitude. He can control his effort and his drive every time he gets out there on that field, man. So I appreciate you taking some time. Back up to Scott and Fred.
All right, thank you, D'Angelo. Thank you, Daron Payne, the defensive player of the game, brought to you by the Virginia Department of Health and Washington football team tackling COVID together. Daron Payne, not only that scoop, he also had a quarterback hit, sack, tackle for loss, 3 solo tackles in the game. Was tough in there today. Overall, I mean, Kamara, had some plays, no question, but he was not, wrecking havoc per se as a rusher. He had a big 23-yard touchdown run, but outside of that, did a pretty good job on him overall. But, again, it's just few plays here and there. Third down defense is better today, but it's the big plays that you give up on first and second down that come back and bite you.
I'm going to say it doesn't matter if you're good on third, if you're giving up 70 yards on first down. So it's one of them things where if you look at the numbers, they can steer you from what's really going on in this game. And when you look at this game, I have to say, I'm a defensive back. The defensive backfield, I think, let the guys down. All right? If you take away the 70-yard and you take away the Hail Mary, we got a chance to win this game. And one, I want to say miscommunication on the first one with Collins.
Sure.
And in no way of any play, as a defensive back, I want Collins closer to the line of scrimmage. He don't need to be my middle of the field safety. Now, on the Hail Mary, to me, that's one of them things where either you're not practicing it, because there's some veterans back there that know what to do on a Hail Mary.
Right.
That was effort. All right, that was all effort. I watched as the only guy jump was Callaway. That you cannot do. I started cringing when I seen that because I look at that as free lunch. So you wouldn't know nothing about this. See, I went to a public school, Jack, and we got such thing called free lunch. And don't you take that free lunch for granted. And that's what a Hail Mary is to a defensive back. Usually you have to tell them to knock it down, don't catch it. But that free lunch, you cannot let that wide receiver come down with that ball by any means necessary.
All right. I believe that is the end of the post-game locker room session for us. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll open the phone lines at 301-230-0980, 301-230-0980. Let's talk about what happened today. J.D. McKissick, who has been in the 2 wins, a big part of the offense, not much of a part of the offense today. Mm-hmm. Are we going to blame that on the Saints' defense? We're going to blame that on ourselves. We'll talk about that coming up. And Taylor Heinicke, today certainly – probably his toughest outing as a starter with his football team. We'll get into that as well. It's the official post-game show after a 33-22 loss to the Washington Football Team Radio Network.
An active lifestyle means you never stop moving. That's why only Theragun devices are designed to release your body's deepest muscle tension, so you can do the things you love. Land that pose, hit that final rep, taste success, and do it all over again. You only have one body. Make it a TheraBody.
Hey Washington fans, Alex Strymel from Box is here to tell you that you don't have to wait for the big game anymore to get in on the action. With Box's free-to-play games, you can pick boxes every day and win huge prizes across all your favorite sports. All you have to do is pick a box, match your numbers, and win. So download the app now and start playing today. Games are completely free, and players can win official Washington Football Team merchandise and other great prizes all season long. Boxes, it's anyone's game.
This is a picture of myself, my father, and my 3 brothers. This was shot when we were doing the USAA commercials for USAA Insurance. You know, my father, being in the military, has been a member of USAA. He's one of their oldest members, I believe. One of the original ones way back in the day. But it's also one of the one of the times that all 4 brothers were able to get together at the same time when we did this, and we had a great time. We really did. And the little sad part to it is my brother Mickey, here in the blue, dark blue I should say, Mickey was battling pancreatic cancer at the time, and it was a little bit before Mickey passed away. But it was an opportunity. We all had gotten together, and it was a great time, and I keep that picture just because it's all of us together.
Washington Football Team Postgame Show. Here are your hosts, Scott Jackson and Fred Smoot.
Gibson's in the backfield with Heinicke in the gun. 3 wide receivers to the left. Inside handoff. Gibson has a big hole up the middle and into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown, Washington! 5-yard scamper by Antonio Gibson.
Yes, sir.
Hey, they love that little read option play because what they do is they put trips to one side of the field, so they make you go cover those trips. If you don't cover those trips, we can just stand up and throw it out there to them. But because of the run fake and just the way that they're blocking, AG gets to pick up a little bit of speed and hit that crease. It's just so hard to fill some of those holes that close to the red zone.
Antonio Gibson, 2 touchdowns today, 60 yards rushing in a week where he was beat up.
Yeah.
I mean, he was really banged up.
Sure he was going to play.
Right, stress fracture in the shin. He's your offensive player of the game, sponsored by Eureka, proud partner of the Washington Football Team. Visit eurekavs.com. Washington lost to 33-22 at the hands of the New Orleans Saints, and I have to say, Fred, one of the tougher things about today's game, and you heard it in that Hail Mary highlight, I forgot to mention it because we had to go to the locker room so quickly, was a lot of cheering. There was a lot of black and
a lot of
gold
Saints
in here.
fans was here. Now I don't know if
they were doing a lot of that who dat stuff today, weren't they?
I'm going to say I don't know if they live locally. Or did they just travel like that?
Man.
But it was a sea of black. It was just black peppered everywhere in the stadium, and you could really see it after like 2 minutes when the game was going to be over with.
Oh, yeah.
And all the Washington fans started to leave. They did not leave. They sat here like a cavity, tooth in your mouth. They sat here just to let us know and rub it in. And all I heard for the last 2 minutes was who dat. Now I need to go to Inova and get it for a broken heart and get it fixed.
Yeah, that was tough to deal with. And actually, when they were backed up in their own end, I felt like in that 1 third down play, Heinicke, like in the offense, I was wondering if they were going to be able to hear because it was getting loud here at one point. But, yeah, the Saints fans definitely showed out today. You got to give them that. And obviously, unfortunately, had a lot to cheer for as the game went on.
The 2 MVPs for the Saints, the crowd that traveled for them, and the punter.
Oh, the punter.
They changed the game.
Gillikin, the Gillikin got you.
Listen, he was placing that ball right.
Flipper. Yep.
I know guys that can't throw a ball that accurate the way he was punting the ball.
No, it was impressive. No question about it, what he was able to do. All right, let's get to the injury report real quick here. Brought to you by Inova, the official health system of the Washington Football Team. Learn more at Inova.org. Sam Cosme, I believe they called it an ankle. We'll hopefully learn more. Hopefully nothing too serious. And the one that really hurts, Curtis Samuel.
Can't get right.
Yeah, the groin. It's against still the groin.
And that's why soft tissue injuries, pull hamstrings, groins, and stuff like that, it's a lot. It's just as much mental than it is physical, that you have to really trust your body and trust your groin to even open up. We could tell on that run, he still wasn't opening up. So I think it's back to IR for him until he's 100%, because he can't. He's showing you as a speed guy, I can't help you at 80%.
I'll be honest with you, DeAndre Carter's done a nice job when he's given the opportunity. He did it today. I mean, he was really good on those jet sweeps. A lot of the stuff that I think clearly they had in the playbook today for Samuel, they just kind of plugged and played Carter, and he did a good job. job. Now, he's in the route runner. He's an accomplished guy, but he didn't have the opportunities either, so we'll see. But, good thing they kept DeAndre Carter on this roster because they're going to need him.
He's making plays. He reminds me, and I'm not saying this is who he is.
Okay.
His body size, the way he moves, the shift in this, he reminds me of a younger Antonio Brown.
Yeah, and you know what? Ricky Seals-Jones did some nice things today, too.
Yes,
he's not Logan Thomas. I get it, but he did some good things today. Unfortunately, that play out of the end zone was called back. It was a great play.
That's called beating yourself right there. Like,
again, legal man downfield. Why are you releasing? Yeah, why are you releasing?
You was never going downfield.
I know.
Like, why would you on your way there?
Right.
That's just like if I tell my, I'm from the South.
I know, yeah.
And we used to have, every neighborhood had what they had, the candy lady house. Right? And my mama tell me don't go down there, don't get no candy. So why should I be walking in that direction? I shouldn't be walking in that direction. The offensive lineman had no business being there.
All right, before we get into the calls at 301-230-0980 after the 33-22 loss, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Washington Football Team Radio Network.
This is the official home of the Washington Football Team. WTEM Washington, WJFK HD2 Manassas, the Team 980, and Odyssey Station.
Frustrating day at FedEx Field. Washington loses to the Saints 33-22. We're going to get out to the phone call. Scott Jackson and Fred Smoot with you. Mike and Dayton, thanks for waiting. How you doing?
Guys, Landon Collins is the 2020 version when it comes to safety of what Albert Hainsworth was in 2010 when it came to defensive line play. Lazy, low intelligence, all swagger, no drip. Get him off the team. Send him out for a fifth-round pick, a sixth-round pick, a ham sandwich, and a smile. Whatever you can get. I'll take your answer off the air. Get him off the team. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mike. Wow. I mean, during the break, for full disclosure here, Fred and I rewatched the bomb to Callaway, the first touchdown.
Yeah.
And your facial reaction was almost as terrible as it was during the Hail Mary.
This is what my facial expression was to the people out there that can't see me.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
If you're on YouTube, you can see us. On the Washington Football Team YouTube.
You know how people's face look when something stink?
Yeah.
All right? Well, that's what it was. Because right there on that play, Landon Collins stumped. You know why? Because he was supposed to be the middle of the field safety, and he's literally lined up 8 yards away from the line of scrimmage and takes off and tries to run to the middle of the field. You cannot help me if I'm the cornerback right there. That's what I'm saying. If I was on the field, go do your job. That allows me to go do my job. Why are you trying to disguise something that low and you know you're supposed to be in the middle of the field?
It's hard to call him Albert Hainsworth bad. That seems a little extreme.
Hey, man,
he's good when he's in the box. Look, he's good in the box. He's good at doing what he does well. But, again, I'll go back and ask you this. Why are they not doing that? Why are they making him do things he doesn't do well?
He's supposed to play. They're supposed to play him just like Jamal Adams.
Yeah.
And if he don't want to play linebacker, I don't care. Name it something else. Name it the stop position, but you're a linebacker. That's what I would tell him right now. That's what the team needs you. And to take up for Albert Hainsworth in his defense, we did bring him over and didn't use him properly. All right? Wait.
You mean to tell me Vinny Serrato would have brought a free agent in here and they didn't have a plan for him?
They had him two-gapping.
Really?
That ain't what he did in Tennessee. They let him just rush in Tennessee.
Right.
And sometimes what you can get is what they call payer's remorse.
Yes.
Like sometimes guys get paid and they lose the love for football. It ain't that they can't play it at a high level. They just ain't – they're not – in love with it enough to sell out for it. They finally got what they always wanted, especially when you give a guy and make him the first $100 million.
Like what other people say, win the lottery, I'm quitting my job. Well, the problem is you have to keep working in pro sports.
Yeah. You got to keep working. But guess what? And that's why most people that win the lottery go broke.
Yeah, it's true. Hey, Jonathan, or they go spend it all at, at strip clubs. Jonathan, what's happening? You're next up.
That is the alternative here,
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
How you doing, buddy?
As I sit here and drink on my Woodford Reserve to recover from this game.
All right. Great choice, Great
Classic.
Del Rio has got to go, number one. Every game we're giving up 7 points on the same coverage scheme that fails over and over. And it doesn't matter who is at safety. It doesn't matter. They're going to make that mistake. You want to move Landon to linebacker? I don't trust that because he showed in the last 2 weeks he can't tackle. And another thing I got a lot to say, but I'm going to be quick. As far as our coach, he pretty much exposed what he really thinks about Dustin Hopkins.
Yes.
We can't kick a 53-yard field goal, and he didn't put him out there to try to protect him. He tried to protect the kicker by not putting him out there. We should not have been going for 4th and 10. We should have kicked the field goal, but we don't have a kicker that can do that. And that's a problem going forward. Like, we're going to lose games more and more like this.
I would say
if we can't.
53-yarders are 50% unless you have Justin Tucker. I think league average is 50% on those.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I felt like he was giving it. Look, the guy had already made a 45-yard at that point, right? He made the 45-yarder. Clearly, anything over 50 for them, they don't feel comfortable with them. I mean, I agree. I mean, I felt that as well. I mean, they did, by the way, get a 4th and 16. They had to convert because they had no choice. They were losing by 2 scores, but.
It's a reason I nicknamed him the toenail.
But there is a little bit of that. I mean, on a day that should have been a positive day for Hopkins, because he wasn't the worst kicker here. I mean, clearly that was Cody Parkey. Oh my God, that guy's terrible. But anyway,
Hey, listen, that's why I like.
Thanks for calling, John.
Thank you for calling in and letting us know. First of all, what are you drinking to get past this frustration?
And I got to say, he's raised the bar. He set it pretty high standard. Woodford Reserve's pretty damn good stuff.
Woodford is
there. Woodford's good.
Now, me, myself, I will retire tonight later to a bottle of Basil
Hayden, yes.
That's what
always
I would do.
A solid choice.
To wash my misery away. And see, that's why I love sports. Because
tomorrow's a 3-day weekend for a lot of people,
because
which is nice.
What? No matter what route I take, it's going to end up with me at the bottom of Basil Hayden. If we would have won, Jack, guess
you would
what
have got about Basil Hayden.
I'd have been celebrating with the Basil Hayden. But now I'm in my misery.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You know what? It's another work week. We'll get better.
All right. If you're on the lines hanging there, 301-230-0980, 301-230-0980. Look, before we get a break, do you think they would get to the point where they would cut Landon Collins? I don't think so. Look,
not cutting.
And they're not trading him. Everybody acts like nobody else knows that he's struggling here. I mean, the whole league gets league pass. They all see this. Everybody has Game Pass, all right? They can watch all this stuff.
And every scout watches every game every week.
So you're not like going to suddenly somebody's going to say, well, damn, you know what? What should we give up for him? Come on. I mean, they've got to figure out how to put him in better situations. I think, again, it was interesting and important what Ron Rivera said after the game about when he said, look, we got to do the smarter things. He also says, as coaches, he also said we have to put guys in better positions.
Yeah.
And every time I hear that, I think, ding, 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 code word for why are we putting this guy out in coverage when that's not what he does well?
And why are we putting him in the middle of the field? Like, there go the key. And then when people say trade, some stuff is untradeable and unsellable.
And again, the contract makes him untradeable, and obviously what's happened, in terms of on-the-field tape is not making him tradable.
And which I am going
not going to happen.
I'm going to be an athlete and a human on this one. The guy is coming back from Achilles injury.
Right.
And that's why early in the season, I wouldn't have asked a lot from him from the door. If that was the case, Cameron Curl continues to make plays no matter where they put him.
Sure.
He seems to be the one constant in the defensive backfield that's not fluctuating. He doesn't play up. He doesn't play down. He plays right there in the middle where he needs to be at. He would be a guy that I could trust. But as a cornerback right now, I have to ask myself, would I trust Landon Collins being my safety in the hole? No. No, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't.
And guess what? The Chiefs, they're just they're going to be drooling when they look at this film of this defense.
But guess what? I'm going to tell you, just the feng shui that we have here, we'll play down to the Saints because I feel like we was the better team. We just lost. But we'll show play up to the Chiefs. Now, we'll go play the Chiefs and look like Super Bowl busters, all right? Do not be shocked.
I hope so. I want to be surprised. I haven't been surprised in 5 weeks, so I'd like to be surprised.
It's one defense worse than playing worse than ours, and that's the Chiefs. Right?
That's true.
They got Chris Jones, one of the best D tackles in the league, playing defensive end.
Right, and that's why this offense got to clean it up before next week as well. No question. They've had a lot of injuries, too. All right, 301-230-0980. We'll come back at more of your phone calls, official post-game show. Live from FedEx Field, Scott Jackson and Fred Smoot, also the Washington Football Team YouTube channel. You're listening to the Washington Football Team.
Another round. What a night. I'm going to head home now.
Make sure you call for a ride. That's what we're doing.
I'm fine. I can drive. I'm fine.
Just calm down. Come on, man. None of us are fit to drive. How about we get you a safe ride home, all right?
Hey, Washington fans, Alex Schreimel from Box is here to tell you that you don't have to wait for the big game anymore to get in on the action. With Box's free-to-play games, you can pick boxes every day and win huge prizes across all your favorite sports. All you have to do is pick a box, match your numbers, and win. So download the app now and start playing today. Games are completely free, and players can win official Washington football team merchandise and other great prizes all season long. Boxes, it's anyone's game.
How is Heinicke in the huddle?
He's more confident. Like when he closed the huddle, he's spitting out the play, but you can tell it's like with some authority.
Yeah.
Like he really trying to let you know, hey, like this might be it. Like
Yeah.
this play right here might go all the way.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he come in, you can just tell he got that confidence that you want in a QB. Like no matter if we down or up, he steady coming in the huddle and having that authority. Like, hey, like let's go. Like you know what I'm saying. This drive could be the one that make us go and make us shake.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you have that type of person, you really in the huddle, really like, okay, bet. Like let's go do this thing.
Yeah.
I ain't never had a moment when I've been in the huddle where you can look on his face and see doubt or like
that's big.
Like it's over with. Like let's just finish it out. He really in the huddle like, hey bro, like we still got a fighting chance.
Yeah, that's the key.
You know what I'm saying? And when you have a quarterback like that go a long way.
Mm-hmm. When you think about practicing with a lot of these guys on this defense, who's been like the toughest, I guess, DB? I mean, who's covering you? Safeties, linebackers? Who's been the toughest guy to really, I guess, get your rocks off on?
I'm going to say Shays.
Is it?
Me and Shays have history in A&M.
Okay. Shays my guy.
So
I said they got history.
Out there, we really be battling it out.
Here are your hosts, Scott Jackson and Fred Smoot.
3rd and 7 at the 28. Kamara stays in the block on this one. Winston, deep ball, wide open is Deontay Harris at the 20. He got behind the secondary, and he is going into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. 72-yard touchdown pass. Jameis Winston to Deontay Harris.
That's what you get, a couple of runs, and then all of a sudden that pass comes out on you.
On 3rd and 7, too, guys, another third down play. But it just looks like some miscommunication on the back end. Landon Collins doesn't look like he gets over top of where he's supposed to be in the middle of the field of that zone. And it's just wide open for Jameis Winston to hit that target.
Oh, welcome back. Official post-game show, 33-22. It still sounds bad. You know, I didn't know what was going to happen. It still hurts.
Hey, listen, it hurts because we didn't get beat physically there. We got beat mentally,
yes.
Because a guy wasn't in the right spot.
What do you like to say, beat by the pen?
Yes, we got whooped by the pen. We got pen whipped right there.
No doubt. All right, 2021 season and single Washington football team tickets are available now. You can visit WashingtonFootball.com/tickets. All right, 301-230-0980. Let's get to Bones. Bones, thanks for waiting.
Hey, my main man, Scott, and Fred Smoot. Man, check it out, man. Like you say, man, you gotta hold these coaches accountable, man, because, they the one chose these guys, man. I'm trying to figure out, man, Landon Collins, man, been having, man, a poor game for 5 games straight, and they have not put anybody in that position, man, to replace him, man, And I thought they had Jeremy Reeves still on the roster, man, because McCain, man, you might well went on here. You might well kept Jimmy Marlin, man, because McCain not doing anything either, man. And Cole Holcomb, man, he is lost. Y'all drafted Jamin Davis, and he is not on the field. What the problem is? Why did you draft him if you're not going to play the guy, man? Look, they should have last season aggressively went out and got them a bona fide quarterback. Man, Taylor Heinicke is okay, but he is not a big game quarterback. I'm not knocking Taylor Heinicke. I love his style. I love the way he plays. But the man don't have the arm. He keeps floating
brother. Calm down.
Smooth. He's floating them passes out there, and that's why them passes are getting intercepted, and the receivers are missing them. Too much air up under the ball, man. I love you guys.
Well,
man.
the second interception, he just stared. The second interception, he just stared the guy down the whole time. I mean, that was just a
Bones hates everybody in the organization right now.
Well,
he said everybody staying. He called out the janitors, the trainers, everybody.
Let's talk about the Jamin Davis thing. All right, that is interesting and important, I believe, because here's a guy who, again, you did take in the first round. It appears, for whatever reason, today they felt more trusting in Cole Holcomb to be on the field. And let's just be straight. I mean, it's not really his strength, right? And coverage is not his strength, but he was put out there in a lot of situations. We had to do that today. Yeah. This is supposed to be Jamin Davis' strength, which was coverage. Yep. I kept looking. I thought maybe he was injured. I saw him perfectly fine standing next to the defensive staff. And a lot of occasions wasn't on the field. I don't know what the snap count will work out to be, but I think it's going to be pretty low because, again, they were playing a lot of five-down linemen.
Yep.
I get that, but it seemed like that would have been the perfect spot to have a guy who was supposed to be very fast out on the field. But again, if you don't know the defense, you don't play fast.
I'm going to say,
yeah.
At the end of the day, it's two positions that coaches try not to play early. Quarterback and linebacker. Middle linebacker, to be exact.
Right.
And for the reason,
and as you said before, they play rookies. It's not like they're adverse to playing rookies.
No, they will play rookies,
right.
But those two positions the coaches hesitate to put them out there because they know if I put these young players out there where they're thinking and not reacting, they're going to either get themselves hurt or they're going to hurt us on defense. So it's something that Jamin Davis not doing in practice. Because if he can't beat out this group of linebackers to start in front of, that says a lot.
And Khaleke Hudson was on the field in the second half at stretches when Jamin Davis was still not on the field. Who was, again, you talk about, we ask if Landon Collins is big enough to play linebacker. He weighs more, I believe, than Khaleke Hudson does.
Yeah.
And he's a bigger guy.
And David Mayo was out there for some plays.
And David Mayo was out there, right. So, again, it was like everybody but the guy you took in the first round, it seemed to be getting some packages today. So that's interesting.
I think they either try to protect him from himself because he just don't know enough right now to go out there and make plays. They actually just don't think he's totally ready to even help the team right now. And that says a lot. You're right that you take somebody in the first round and then you look around and the other first rounders out here playing and making plays.
All right, let's grab RJ next. RJ, thanks for waiting. You're next up on the official postgame show.
Hey, Attorney Smooth, how you guys doing?
Doing great, brother.
I was thinking about the last time I spoke to you last time we was talking about the organization, man, and you're not going to win another game. I figure you probably about 2-8. And you answered your question when we start talking about legal things and talking about drafting. I mean, you answered your question. I mean, we got a scout. We picking Jamin Davis. He can't even do on the field. I mean, when was this past time the secondary been any good, man? Really, be honest with you, man. Since Pat Fisher and Kenny Houston, are you kidding me, man? I'm telling you right now, I am so sick. And I'm sick because I'm a West Coast guy out here hoping that the Redskins be good one day. But every time they come on TV, they stink. Every opportunity I get, maybe I can watch them prime time like the Cowboys and the Giants. I can't get that problem. Even the Eagles don't win it now. Now they're just like the Lions organization. I just pray, like, man, one day I can watch the Skins prime time. Prime time. And they really look like something.
I can't believe you took it all the way to Pat Fisher and Darryl Green to say we had no DBs because Champ Bailey and Fred Smoot was a great pair. I tell you what, Sean Springs and Fred Smoot, Carlos Rogers and Sean Springs, D'Angelo Hall.
Don't put Springs in there. Don't put Springs in there. I'll correct myself. I'll give you a little bit of credit, but don't put Springs in there. Okay, I forgot about Champ and USA.
That's wrong.
What you trying to take away
Don't be dogging Springs.
What you want to take away from Sean Springs? What are you saying? He wasn't a good corner in this league?
No, he was not. He was average.
He was
average.
Bobby. RJ,
come on, man. He was way above average. Now, we won't do that.
That's not fair.
We won't do that one, RJ. Come on now, man.
I'm just a passive, pissed off Skins fan, and this team stinks.
You're selling. All right, thanks for the call, RJ. Wow. You're going to start insulting everybody here. My goodness. Whew.
I knew something was wrong with RJ when he did come in and tell us what he was drinking.
Right.
When he went right for the jugular, I knew RJ meant business there. He's probably on the West Coast eating kale and what?
Well, he's mad because he had to get up early and watch it. Here's the thing. Like, RJ, it's funny. He was mad, so he's in a roll. Just let him go. But they actually won the one primetime game this year, so.
Yeah,
they actually 1-0 in prime time this year, RJ. All right, and actually last year they won primetime games as well.
And this is why we're here to counsel.
Yeah.
We're here to shrink. We're here to listen.
And sometimes correct. All right.
Yeah.
If you're on the line, hang in there. 301-230-0980, 301-230-0980. Out of nowhere, just cheap shotting our friend.
Yeah, Bluefoot. How you gonna shoot Bluefoot?
Our friend Sean Springs. That ain't right, bro. That's not right. That's not right. All right, 33-22. He had nothing to do with that. What happened today? All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back and get some more calls. We'll also hear a little bit from Ron Rivera on the podium straight ahead if we can get our technical glitches fixed. This is the Washington Football Team Radio Network.
RJ.